Here.
Mr. Weber?
Here.
Mr. Wessels?
Here.
Ms. Witt? Here.
All right, obviously we have a quorum, and I apologize that I lost my packet window here. Bear with me for a second while I figure out where it went, because that would be too simple. And I do want to ask council to amend the agenda to include a municipal order to, assuming you guys are up for it, reappoint Tom Litzler to TB&K. Can we get a motion to amend the agenda to add municipal order 09-2025?
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
So, motion by Wessel, second by Collins. Roll call, please, Carrie.
Mr. Wessels?
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Ms. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Wall?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Ms. Witt? Yes.
All right. I don't know why this is being so obstinate. Okay, citizens' comments. Is there anyone here that wants to address council that's not already on the agenda?
I signed in. Is that
Yep, if you would like to, absolutely.
Okay.
But if you don't mind, go to the podium over there so our giant viewing audience at home can actually hear you.
Okay, great.
Because they'll need that microphone to be able to hear you.
All right.
So if you could just state your name and address, please.
My name is Renee Cooper, and I live at 28 Park Road.
Okay, thank you. Proceed.
Yeah, so I have lived in Fort Wright for 48 of my 50 years. The first 24 on 28 Lake Street, and the second 24 on 28 Park Road, oddly enough. Spent a couple years in between college and in Cincinnati and Covington, but I came back to Fort Wright because I love
We're glad you came
it.
back.
What's that?
I said, we're glad you came back.
Yeah, I am too. I love Fort Wright, and I also appreciate everything that you guys do. I know that there's a lot of sacrifice in what you guys are doing, and this is extra for you. So I very much appreciate that. We moved to Park Road because we love the beautiful oaks that are across the street from our house, and obviously the opportunity to live somewhere that doesn't have houses across the street because the park's right there. So that's really nice too. And we've loved it for so many years. Our kids grew up there. The trees are great. They provide so much shade for us. Recently, about a month ago, one of the trees, big log, came down, as you all know, and created some destruction for us. It took down our electric line as well as my neighbors. And so we had to file some insurance claims to make sure that we got that all put back together. And we're very concerned about that tree across the street from our house at this point. I love those trees so much. I would not be here if I wasn't genuinely losing sleep because my bedroom is right underneath it. So with the electric line going out, it created definitely some fear on what is going to happen next. And I very much appreciate the fact that you have hired 2 different arborists to check out the trees. And from what I understand, the arborists are saying that they're okay. Not totally sure if that's
not exactly
completely accurate.
Yeah, not exactly, but we'll get to that.
Okay, so you are going to get to that.
Yeah.
I guess the only reason I'm here is to say that while we love that tree, that was kind of a sign and maybe a warning for us that it's just going to continue to decay from the inside. This one particularly across the street from our house was injured about 10 years ago by some mechanical equipment. And so I don't know if that one's different than the rest of the trees. Honestly, I hope so, because I don't want them all to come down. I am not here because I want all those trees down. I am only here because of the one right across the street from my house, which has proven to be damaging. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say.
Do you live, this is going to sound like a silly question, but do you live on the Barrington side of the park or the farther away from
No, we're on the short side of Park. So right across the street from,
No, I know, but I'm trying to figure out where on this.
Yeah,
we're the third house.
third house in.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, and it's, the addresses are so weird because it's 3, 5, and then 28, which is also another reason I thought I'd live there, because I'm like, well, it's 28, that's where I grew up on Lake Street, so.
It is an interesting coincidence, but yeah, the addresses don't make sense. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, and then there's 20s if you go around the other side. It's, anyway, yeah.
Council, do you have any questions? Because we are going to get to this. We have the arborist information. We'll share all that with you, and we are going to have a conversation about that here later in the agenda. So anyone have any questions?
No, but if approves it, if she wants to hang around to that point and she wants to chime in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have to approve it. It's a public meeting. You can stay as long as you want. And obviously, if you have further comments after you hear this, that's fine.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's great.
All right, well, we will try to get to it as quickly as we can so that we don't have you sitting through all the rest of this stuff. Anyone else want to address council at this point, other than you, Josh? We've already decided we don't want to hear from you. All right, well, then you're up.
Am I allowed to ask him questions?
No.
Sure, sure.
Thank you, Mayor. Jill, thank you. I promise I'm not doing a 45-minute presentation on PDS, I promise.
As
So-
riveting as that might be. Right?
It would not be, Mayor. So, good evening, council members. I'm here to introduce myself tonight. I am Josh Weiss, and I'm honored to serve as the new Executive Director of Planning and Development Services of Kenton County. I just appreciate the opportunity to be here tonight to introduce myself or to reintroduce myself to some of you that I've already worked with on issues. Just a little bit about my background. I joined PDS over 4 years ago to design and launch the new Community Development Initiative. I grew up mainly in Edgewood, where my parents still live, and for the past several years I've lived in Erlanger. I'm a parishioner at St. Pius in Edgewood and attended Kenton County schools. Graduated from Scott High School, and at the time, Scott High School encompassed Fort Wright, so spent a lot of time here growing up at friends' houses and probably doing some juvenile delinquent things as well in the city. So, and then I completed college at Northern and then Thomas More as well. So my experience in the professional sector has been both public and private, mostly on the economic development side of issues. And as you know, at PDS, on behalf of the 19 cities and the county itself here in Kenton County, we manage several key functions for these local government jurisdictions, from planning and zoning, which is the most public, to infrastructure engineering, building inspections, GIS mapping, community development, and then code enforcement for several communities as well. And then we also staff the Kenton County Planning Commission, the Link GIS, Multi-County Partnership, and the Joint County Board of Adjustment and Code Enforcement Board, and then also help and staff several cities' individual boards of adjustments. I just view our role at PDS as a partner to each local government we work with. I preach to our team that we are an extension of your city staff, and we do work on behalf of those 19 cities and the county itself. For those of you who do already know me, I am fairly open and very collaborative on things, so I have a deep love and appreciation for all of our Kenton County communities, and I just want you to know, anyone on council, Jill, Mayor, Mr. Wessels. Mr. Wessels was part of our management board that hired me, so yeah.
Is that a good choice or not?
I don't know, and then the former mayor over my shoulder here too, you know, so Fort Wright runs deep at PDS right now. So anyways, just for council members or any other members of the staff, I'm always a phone call or text message away if you have any issues that you would like to discuss, constituent questions that you want to pass on to us, please do not hesitate to reach out. And just want to say hi, be happy to answer any questions anyone might have.
Can you maybe explain or maybe introduce your replacement from your other position?
Yeah,
Explain a little bit,
yeah.
because that person would probably be working more with us on economic development
They
projects.
will, and yeah, Jill had the opportunity to meet her a few days ago. So the Community Development Initiative that I designed and started at PDS 4 years ago with the, it was a priority of the management board, was really, by and large, PDS is a regulatory agency, and those are how most people interact with us. But also I say as a regulatory agency, It doesn't mean your answer always should be no. It should be, okay, how do we get to a positive outcome and a yes on some things, especially in positive development and the communities we serve. So the community development program was actually, is actually meant to bridge those gaps on the regulatory side of things, from zoning, building inspection, et cetera, to make sure the communities, each of our individual communities that all have very unique wants and desires when it comes to development, are being met. And so recently, she started a couple weeks ago, we appointed Megan Bessie, who her title is Community Development Manager. She has been with our organization for about 10 years, for about the past 5 years on the planning side of things, and then for about 5 years served on zoning and code enforcement side of things, and was actually our staff member stationed out at, we have a south office down at the City of Independence City building, and she was stationed down there. So very intimate knowledge about all of our Kenton County communities and a lot of standing relationships already. So I look forward to working with her as well in her new role. So.
Are you going to have any initiatives to try to improve the organization?
I'm 2 months into it, but yes. And
I mean, thanks to Bernie, it can't get any better, right? I mean, it's already reached its
So
zenith.
I actually just came from a BIA meeting. That's why I ran in here about 2 minutes before. Mr. Weber, to answer your question, I think in 2026 there are several things I want to look at, as simple as I always want to look at our permit time from time to application for something to approval. I want to look at those times. I'm a pretty pro-business kind of person, so time is money on the private side of things. So if we can decrease those time frames for approval, but then also just remembering who we serve in the 19 cities and the county itself, and just make sure we never lose sight of that. But I would say, I think next year, I think there will be several initiatives that we'll work with the management board on from a strategic planning standpoint. So to answer your question, yes, I'd say probably more to come on that at this point. So, yep. Thank you.
You send us monthly zoning violations, which are wonderful, unfortunately, to see. Is there a way to get a little better description? Like, some of them are pretty obvious, but some of them are, like, I'm just looking at W/G.
Weeds and grass.
What's R&D then? Research.
Margie's already asked this question.
Well, but,
Yeah.
you know, I mean,
Yeah, I'll take a look at that.
if you don't mind,
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
even if there's a little
Yeah.
matrix sent with it, just said, hey, here's.
Well, no, I mean, the purpose of that is for the cities and stuff, so yeah, you have to know what we're talking about with our abbreviations and things, so yeah.
I take your spreadsheet and then I eliminate fields and make it, yeah.
Yeah, that is
very
actually,
helpful.
that's a new system we implemented last year, so, yeah, I appreciate that feedback, I'll take that
No,
back.
I mean,
But yeah,
it's a great,
it makes sense.
you know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
nice to see you guys are out doing this. It's just, I mean, INOP.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's
And
cool, yeah.
vehicle.
Those are the things I need to
Sorry, I
know,
should've
because
just
if
asked
I don't know that, then I can't help fix it, so, yeah.
One of the things Ms. Ross had just indicated is she's not receiving your emails yet. So she's our newest council member, so we need to get her added to the email roster and probably remove Mr. Abelin if we could.
Absolutely, we will take care of that.
Thank you so much.
We will take care of that.
Other questions for Josh?
Good luck.
Josh, thanks for going around and doing this at all the cities. It's very nice. Yeah. It's good to get everybody to know you.
And I know on my behalf, I'd like to thank you and your staff. Every time I have to interact with the agency, it's fantastic. That had not always been the case, and I appreciate the value that every member of your team brings to the table. So they're always very helpful.
Thank you.
And I need zoning help.
It's it can be a complex issue sometimes, so, yeah.
Very nice to meet you, thank you.
Very nice to meet you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks, Josh. Appreciate you coming in. Keep up the good work, and, okay. So anyone else that wants to address council at this point? If not, then we'll get into the regular agenda here with the minutes. All righty. We have a set of minutes from the October 1st, 2025 public tax rate hearing. Do we have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Weber, second. Wessels, any additional discussion? All right, roll call, please, Carrie.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mr. Wessels?
Yes.
Ms. Witt? Yes. Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Ms. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Wall?
Abstain.
Okay, then up next, we have the minutes from the October 1st, 2025 City Council meeting. Do we have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
So a motion by Witt, is there a second? Second by Collins. Any additional discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Ms. Witt? Yes. Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Ms. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Wall?
Abstain.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mr. Wessels?
Yes.
All right, we have the minutes from the October 7th, 2025 Special Council meeting. Do you have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Motion by Weber, second.
A second.
Second by Wall. Any discussion? All righty, roll call, please, Carrie.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mr. Wall?
Yes.
Mr. Wessels?
Yes.
Ms. Witt? Yes. Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Ms. Ross?
Yes.
All right, we have the minutes from the October 9th, 2025 Special City Council meeting. Do we have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Collins, second.
I'll second.
Second, Ross. Any discussion? All right, roll call, please, Carrie.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Ms. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Wall?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Abstain.
Mr. Wessels?
Yes.
Ms. Witt? Yes.
All right, two to go. We're almost there. The minutes from the October 15th, 2025 Special City Council meeting. We have a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
Witt, second.
I'll second.
I'll second. Or go ahead.
All right, Witt and Ross. Any additional discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Ms. Witt?
Yes.
Ms. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Wall?
Abstain.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mr. Wessels?
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
All right. And then finally, we have the minutes from the October 15th, 2025 City Caucus meeting. Do we have a motion to approve?
I'll do the motion to approve.
All right, motion by Ross, second.
I'll second.
Second by Wall. Any additional discussion? All right, roll call, please, Carrie.
Ms. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Wall?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mr. Wessels?
Yes.
Ms. Witt? Yes. Mr. Collins?
Yes.
All right, we have one item under unfinished business, and then we'll get to the trees. So again, we'll try to get you out of here at a reasonable time. Landscaping enhancements and maintenance of various public right-of-ways.
Yes, at a previous caucus, we had discussed various public right-of-ways in the community, that there was an opportunity to landscape these areas and have them be potential gateways into neighborhoods, or at least improve the aesthetic of some of the areas in the community. We looked at each of them. Maddox Landscaping had provided us proposals, which we provided each of you with. We discussed at that time the cost of the project, and you also had asked us to go back to Maddox and ask for a maintenance plan and the cost of the maintenance plan. So we did that. The maintenance agreement is estimated to cost $9,459.40. It includes spring mulching and 9 monthly visits throughout the year for pruning, weeding, and spraying. And just to remind you of the cost of the landscaping projects, was $9,253.35 for them to do the installation. It was $6,310 for us to do the installation, so a difference of approximately $2,900. That would eliminate Public Works having to do these projects. There were a couple of them that are going to require permits that need to be obtained from KYTC. That will take longer. We'll need to work through those. I know, Jeff, you spoke to them today.
Mm-hmm.
They said they could get the project done when?
By the first of the year. I know that the
Not
one
the
across.
permitted ones.
Right, the permits are probably going to take a little longer.
Jeff, either way we go, you will be able to water 'em maybe once a week or something like that, you think?
Yeah, we could set something up.
You know, it wouldn't be right away, but maybe starting in June.
Yeah, if they install it now, we won't have to do anything till summer,
Okay,
really.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
we could
cool.
set something up.
I appreciate you making that spreadsheet for me, because
Yes,
I was
sir.
seeing everything. and I
Not a
was going,
problem.
I am even though it's a little more expensive, I'm leaning to letting the landscape company do it. because of the guarantee for 1 year if they put it in, because that kind of stuff does have from time to time things that die off. So that's my only thought on that. Otherwise, if Jeff's got the time, I don't have a problem with him doing it.
Yeah, that would be my recommendation, that we proceed, let the landscaping company do the whole thing, because the time saved, despite the minor additional cost, the time saved for Public Works to work on other things, I think makes sense. And to Jay's point, there's this guarantee. So Jay, is that in the form of a motion to proceed with both the installation plus the maintenance plan?
I will make that motion,
Yeah,
yes.
go
If I
ahead,
could
Jill.
make
Yeah,
one
go ahead.
clarification, I'm sorry. That does not include the cost of Fort Henry and the island installation or changes, and it does not include any upgrades to the Montpelier Court that we have discussed previously. So those are extra. I'm sorry, didn't want to forget those.
Actually, that included the landscape bed that was on the Fort Henry Island, but we
Oh,
were
we did,
going,
okay.
we were going away from that, and Margie and I discussed it before the meeting, about putting a tree in there instead of the landscape bed, because we tend to push a lot of snow up there, and those plants, the salt tolerance, yeah, they wouldn't do well with salty snow on them.
What's your
Modified
thought?
price on.
Yeah, were you going to make a comment,
Are
Marjorie?
you happy with the drawings?
So Jeff and I, from last time we talked, my concern was that each bed was different throughout the city. So we were discussing trying to make these a little more cohesive, so it felt like there was repetition throughout the city and we would see similar plans. So Jeff and I met today and eliminated some plants that I think would not do really well here and added some things and just sort of streamlined things so that these plantings would feel more uniform throughout the city. We went through each of the properties or each of those spots, and Jeff's got the list of changes that we're proposing to keep it beautiful, but a little more streamlined and simple. So we looked at the Barrington design, Kyle's and Highland. We did not focus on the West Henry Clay and Kyle's bed because there's been some conversation about maybe seeing if we want to do away with that little corner property. We did talk about the Fort Henry Triangle and a tree, 2 options for trees for the Montpelier spot. So the other thing that Jeff and I talked about was we've kind of, over time, adopted sort of a city tree, and that's the redbud. We've got a variety of redbud here on site. This one's called the Rising Sun. When we did the corner of Dixie and Kyle's, we put in 3 redbuds up there. They're Appalachian redbuds. The design plan for the corner across the street has 3 redbuds that are forest pansy. It's a redbud. So we're looking at, like, that's kind of an interesting concept to have, like, this is kind of our city tree. It's a native tree, and so we're looking at repetition of that redbud tree. It's also a tree that's listed on Kentucky Transportation Commission. It's an approved tree that could be down on 275 at some point. In the right of way. So by repeating these types of trees and these other plants, now we've created a branding almost in the landscape.
I mean, I just totally trust your judgment on this. I mean.
Me as well.
200%. And
So-
how do you feel like with the maintenance thing? Is that seem?
I feel like honestly, if we can take something off the plate of Public Works, that will be helpful. But I also feel like by making a few of the changes we're making in the plantings,
Right.
that will maybe lessen their maintenance cost because we're eliminating a lot of the high work, which is perennials. We're eliminating some perennials in some places, and the ones we're using, the salvia in particular, is a super easy plant to maintain. So we may not need quite as many visits as they're proposing, and with the use of less high maintenance plants.
Well, then, I appreciate that. And then the final thing I got is, couldn't Maddox, as part of their maintenance program, do the water bags themselves as part of this program? Because
Absolutely.
without his,
Yeah.
I know, and don't you think we should add that to?
If they do the installation this fall, which I don't know if they'll, because we're starting to drop temps, but they
Right.
should be okay. We can plant until the ground freezes. I feel like the tree bags are easy,
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That way he don't have to mess with the watering and all that.
Exactly.
Right,
yeah. And really, we only need those for the first summer.
right.
That's all we needed.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So Jeff's got the list of new plants, a new plan for each spot.
So do we need a new proposal from them? I mean, what you're
We
saying,
need a new proposal.
yeah, what you're saying makes sense to me, and I certainly have no issue with that. You know a lot more about it than I do. I mean, I'm in favor of moving forward with the plan, but if you think this is a better plan and it's potentially going to reduce the cost, yeah, I think that's what we should do.
Yeah, I think so. So Jeff's got all that listing. He's got the list of plans for each spot. We won't take away quantity of plants, but we'll probably switch the variety to be more of a mass planting so you see, like, it makes a bigger impact.
All right, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
So my
Thank you.
concern about that is the timing issue. So I didn't want to bring it back again December because we're just going to lose another 30 days potentially. Is it possible, if you're interested in moving forward, you
Cap
can
it.
just approve the project with some cap on
I think
it,
the-
or
I think the prices they have listed would be like the
would be
max.
sufficient? Okay, okay.
So then to be clear, what I think we just agreed to is we want to get a new proposal from them. But assuming the proposal for the installation and the maintenance does not exceed the numbers that we've already discussed here this evening, you guys will give me the authority to go ahead and sign off on it. Is that what we're saying?
Not to exceed that amount.
Yeah, okay.
And I think based on the changes that we've looked at, we will not exceed that.
And Margie, when they're working on it, if you think 9 maintenance trips is too many, pick a number and we'll go with that.
I mean, if, Jeff, I'm sorry, did you happen to notice, do they have pre-emergent in there?
They did, it was.
Pre-emergent. That should eliminate the need for 9 visits.
Okay,
Yeah,
so whatever number.
I would think,
Okay, so we're not going to accept this proposal, but what I think we're saying then is, can I get a resolution that we will ask them to give us a new proposal, and assuming the cost of the installation for this project, yeah, does not exceed, and the maintenance cost does not exceed, then you authorize me to enter into an agreement with them to proceed, so we don't lose another whole month.
Mr. Mayor, other than the West Henry Clay, right? We're taking that one out?
correct.
Okay, so,
Well,
now, fair enough, I mean, we just got to get this all in
You're
a
right, I
form that
just-
Carrie can write down and you guys can agree to. So, okay, you are going to authorize me to enter into an agreement with Maddox for everything that was in a new proposal that covers the things in the original proposal with the changes that Margie is proposing, minus the West Henry Clay. And as long as the installation cost for these projects does not exceed the current proposed cost, and the ongoing maintenance cost for the maintenance program does not exceed what they proposed, I'm good to sign it once we get the new proposal. And we'll have Jeff and Margie obviously review it, make sure that it encompasses what you guys want.
So I'll make that motion.
Thank you. It's a long-winded one. Yes, it's like a small
I'll
tome.
make that motion. It's-
Motion by Wessel, second,
We'll work on
second
that,
by
Gary.
Collins, yeah. You may have to listen to the tape a few times. Okay, motion by Collins, I'm sorry, motion by Wessel, second by Collins. Is there any additional discussion?
Margie, thank you for
Margie,
all.
can I ask Margie a quick question?
Yeah, sure.
I'm just curious, why the 3 varietals of red bud? Just availability?
There's 1,000 different variety of red buds, and it's mature size, so we had room at the corner for big trees, and those are big trees. This one needed a ornamental, but this tree up front, this rising sun, needs to be thinned all the time, so I come and thin it like twice a year so it doesn't split. And the forest pansies are purple, their leaf is purple all summer, and they're hardier, they're not as soft as this one.
Thank you.
And thank you for what you did on this.
Yeah, appreciate you and Jeff putting some extra effort into this. I think this is going to be nice when it's done.
It'll be beautiful.
And I do appreciate the focus on trying to get something that would be more cohesive and possibly more in alignment with more places across the city. So, okay, we have a motion and a second. If there's no additional discussion, roll call, please, Carrie.
Mr. Wessels?
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Ms. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Wall?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Ms. Witt?
Yes.
Okay, that gets us into new business, and now to Volunteer Park and the Park Road trees. So, you want to try to
Sure.
explain what we've learned?
I'll give you a snapshot, and Jeff can probably answer some questions. Thank you. So, of course, we had the incident.
Can you make that a little bigger, Jeff, so that people watching from home?
Yeah.
Yeah, just see if you can can you just swipe it bigger? There we go, that's better.
Helps a little bit. Okay. So that's Park Road. The trees are identified across the street adjacent to Volunteer Park. There are 5 of them. They are large pin oak trees. We had, of course, the incident that Mrs. Cooper described in late September where we had 2 properties that were damaged as a result of a fallen tree branch. They sustained substantial damage to the property, power outages, some personal property losses. Yeah. Yes, and yes, we'll get you a copy, and we'll get you a copy of the actual reports too, if you would like it.
If you have a printed copy, Jeff, why don't you just, hand it to her.
Yeah. So we had 2 companies come out and look at the trees, and Jeff, I will give this summary, and then you can chime in wherever you need to about the circumstances that arose. Ultimately, the arborist had indicated that due to the extreme drought last year, these types of trees were shedding limbs. They didn't indicate that there was an immediate urgent need to remove the trees, but of course, we can't predict when anything will occur and the timing of that. So in summary, Urban Canopy was one of the companies we had come out and identify the condition of these trees. They labeled the trees 1 through 5. And tree A on the map is 5 through 1. A is 5, and then E, of course, would be 1, so it's reversed. Urban Canopy indicated tree 1 was a candidate for removal. It had a moderate risk. It said that there was a seam that ran up the side of the tree. It had a limited canopy and dead limbs. Tree B, do you want me to do?
What did you say? A is 1?
A is 1. So,
No, A is 5.
Yeah,
A is 5.
I'm sorry, A is.
If you look at the
yes.
top row, Bernie, which,
That's what I'm doing.
Yes.
I think she said a little different.
Look,
So,
Bernie, look on here.
Urban
I got it.
Canopy identified the trees 1 through 5. Julie Collins, who was the arborist, identified them A through E. So A is really tree 5. Do you want to know what one arborist said all together, or do you want to go and back and forth about the trees?
I suggest you explain what each arborist said independent of each other, and then we can
Okay,
kind of talk
go back.
about how that aligns across the matrix there.
Okay, perfect. So tree B, or number 4, was, the recommendation was to trim this tree, said it was a moderate risk to a low risk if it was trimmed. They identified it as having an unbalanced canopy, weighted towards the street, and dead limbs. Tree C, also known as tree 3, was a moderate risk to low risk if trimmed, an unbalanced canopy, weighted towards the street again also, and had dead limbs. Tree 2, or tree D, which is the tree that splintered that caused the damage to begin with, and why we're talking about this evening, was identified by Urban Canopy as a moderate risk, a low risk if it was trimmed. They said it had an unbalanced canopy, weighted towards the street. There is an open cavity at some point that somebody sprayed foam into. And I'm not sure, Ms. Cooper might be able to talk more about that. I'm not sure why that occurred, but that was not anyone on our staff. And then it also has dead limbs. Tree E, also known as tree 1, Urban Canopy recommended removal of this tree, said it's moderate to high risk. There is signs of trunk decay. There was some indication it had been struck by lightning. It's unbalanced canopy, and they did a sonic tomography, which shows a crack in the root of it or the trunk of it, and it also has dead limbs and has what they describe as dead wood.
So this, before we go on, in the report notes, it explicitly mentions this sonic tomography. I don't really know what that is. I'm assuming it's like some sort of radar they shoot. Yeah, okay.
Jeff, that's a
Did
Jeff
they
and
do
Margie
it, did they
question.
do it on all of the
They
trees
did
or
it
just that
Only on
one?
that one. I was there with her when she did these, and she does what they call a sounding, so she's got a little mallet that she'll smack the tree around with. And she had some concerns with what she was hearing on that one. She asked me, can I do whatever that thing is? I said, absolutely, whatever you gotta do. So
I
she
just
did it
wanted to
on,
understand, A, what is it, and B, why was it only done on that one tree?
because that was the one that she was concerned about what she was hearing, and she asked me if she could do it on that one, and I said, yes, please do it.
Okay.
So,
Would I rate this A, B, and C for both arborists are the same? Tree D and E, they flipped. That's where the difference is.
yeah, so urban canopy has recommended removal of tree A, or tree 5, and tree E, also known as tree 1. Now, the other arborist was Julie Collins. She's out of Walton. She recommended for tree A, or tree 5, removal, indicated it was a high risk, said it leans in the direction of the resident's home or the street, it's lopsided due to pruning, there's root decay, and there's dead limbs. On tree B, also known as tree 4, that was a high to moderate risk if it was trimmed. The foliage was scorched, the canopy is sparse, there's past signs of limb failure, and there's dead limbs. On tree C, also known as tree 3, it's a high to a moderate risk if it's trimmed. It's shows past limb failures. And then in tree D, tree 2, which is again the tree that splintered, they identified this one as high risk, recommended removal of it. Indicated the past limb failure, there was an open cavity and severe decay in the trunk. And then for tree E, they have recommended that tree be trimmed, high to a moderate rate if it's trimmed, dead limb over the road, struck by lightning, and the bark has been displaced. Now, none of that means anything to me, so that's probably a Jeff and a Margie question. But this is the summary of the report that they have provided. So ultimately, Collins recommended the removal of 2 trees, A and D, and the other 3 trees be trimmed. So it is interesting because tree A, they've recommended removal consistently, but Jay is correct. On tree D and E, they are switched. One's recommending removal, one's recommending trim.
What strikes me on, sorry about that, what strikes me on tree D, number 2, is the severe decay in the trunk. So to me, just, I've had to take out a couple trees. I had the crane in my driveway taking out a big cottonwood a few years ago. That decay in the trunk, to me, just tells me problems everywhere for the next several years. Even though one arborist said remove it, the other one said trim it, if there's that much open decay in the main part of the trunk, it's,
Yeah, there's a hole in the trunk, and you can see in it.
yeah.
So I was kind of surprised that the one said that just to trim it.
Yeah.
I think, err on the side of caution on that one, for sure.
Well, I
Just
think,
my opinion.
again, when this all came up, I was the one that sort of pushed for, all right, before we go in and start cutting these trees down, because they are a nice asset in the area, they look nice, they've been there for, I've been here 57 years, they've been there a lot longer than that. So all of that said, I have a lot of concerns about this report. When you say moderate risk, well, what does that mean? Low risk, okay, that's one thing. Moderate risk gets me a little concerned. But when you look at the Collins arborist, they say basically potential high risk for every single one of these trees, even if you trim them. So, again, I want to come back to that, but I think one of the things we need to be thinking about is, okay, even if we trim it, because they say high, moderate risk if trimmed. High, moderate risk if trimmed, that's B and C. D, they're saying removal. The urban canopy says moderate risk or low risk if trimmed. How much risk do we want to accept here, and how much money do we want to spend trimming these things? To still potentially have, I'm sorry, what, Bernie?
What was the cost to trim one?
So to remove the tree, yeah, $4,000 to remove the stump of the tree.
$4,000 a tree.
That's stump grinding and everything.
And I remember reading in the report was that they recommended come back and look at the trees every year, that's what they said.
And that doesn't include the cost of planting new trees, which if you remove them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we would do that.
Right.
But I guess, and red buds, right, Margie?
I would put oaks back in there.
So, I mean, we could talk about this for a long time, but I mean, can we just start to simplify and say, okay, both of them said removal of tree A.
Right.
I mean, to me, you have two different arborists who have expressed slightly different opinions across this matrix, but they both said tree A needs to go. Is there any dispute about that? Is there anyone that wants to argue that point?
No.
For safety reasons alone, I don't know how we could not take these down. You know, Brooke, you're the attorney. You help us understand our risk here. Now that this has been exposed to us from two different credentialed, reputable sources, how would we not do that? I mean, it adds a lot of, I mean, obviously, we could say no, but I mean, it doesn't seem like a prudent decision.
I would agree.
Yeah, okay. So unless there's further discussion around tree A, I think we're all saying tree A's got to go, right? We're all in agreement on that? Okay. So then that leaves us with this, I mean, I want to come back to B and C because neither one of them said they need to be cut down. Again, the one is saying high risk even if you trim it, but D and E are then problematic in my mind as well because you have, as Jay pointed out before, this sort of, you know, one says get rid of D and the other one says get rid of E.
I'm sorry, let's just for clarification, it's a high risk if you do not trim it. It is a moderate risk if it's trimmed.
So I will note that
Well-
Julie did not do a sonar on E. So she didn't know what was inside of that one. Urban Canopy did, and that's when they recommended. If you look at the picture, if you can make any sense of that picture on there, and Jill, I don't know if you've got that on there or not.
What's that?
I mean, you could, the sonar thingy that she
I
did.
do.
You can see it's hollow on the inside.
That's E.
That's on
That
E.
is E.
Yeah, because you've got the sonar of it.
Correct. And that is the one, I believe, Ms. Cooper, didn't you see, you were the one that saw that get struck by lightning, right?
I did.
Yeah.
I was sitting on my porch when I got struck by
There's the
lightning.
picture.
And you live by tree E, correct?
D.
Yeah.
D.
I
You live by D?
Across from D. but
Okay.
From my porch, I can see all of them. But
Yeah.
E, I can see very clearly, and I watched it get struck by lightning from outside.
And from tree
It
D,
just puffed a big thing of
Yeah.
smoke after the thunder and the lightning, so.
what do you feel like if tree D was removed? Do you feel
You
like
would-
it needs to be removed? You see it every day. Does it,
Well, looking at this, I would say, yeah. I mean, I don't want it to be removed, but if it's gonna risk,
yeah.
you know,
Is tree D the one right outside your bedroom?
D is the one right outside my bedroom.
Okay.
Can I ask Margie a question?
Sure.
Margie, if we took these trees down, they'll probably take the, of the, yeah, what they can. How long do we have to wait if we wanted to plant a tree back and that's?
Wait a year.
You have to wait a year, so a year because of decay, let it decay, and then come back a year and plant something else.
The process, the stump grinding process adds so much oxygen into the soil and it makes it unstable.
Gotcha.
You want to give it time to settle and I probably would plant not right on top.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, they're way too close to the road. Yeah.
And so the issue, one comment, the unbalanced canopy on all these trees is caused from the utility. crew.
Utilities, yes, exactly.
So if we replaced, we either have to put in a very skinny tree that's not
Or
going to
something
touch.
shorter, yeah.
Or a shorter
Right.
tree. So,
Or some nice landscaping berms or something.
exactly.
Something different going through there.
Yeah.
My-
Do you get shade from other trees on the other side, like along the wood line?
Yeah,
Because I feel like it's going to be, if we start taking trees down.
yes, because the sun comes up right behind the wood line,
Mhm.
and so
Yeah.
we get a lot of nice shade in the morning
Okay.
from that wood line.
Yeah.
I would say, now, of course, I've never been without this oak, so I don't know for sure, but I talked to the arborist as well when she was out there, and she said that they definitely need to be planted further away from the road
Yeah.
to be safe, and then, of course, the utility lines, that was our issue this time.
And do
I'll
you
be honest
think,
with you, if
um,
I can make a comment, you know, I mean, reading all this, and, you know, if I lived there, I personally would not want this. Those trees are not gonna live forever, and neither are we.
No.
You know, there comes a time you know? And and honestly, unfortunately, you know, I think the time is now, when I'm reading high risk, well, how would we feel if one of those big trees comes down and even though it says in here high to moderate risk, and it takes out a house, them things are big enough to go all the way across the whole house.
And if,
Mrs. Cooper can attest to this, right? I mean, you know.
Right.
Jeff, if we make a decision to replant, but further in, then we don't even have to stump grind. We eliminate the cost of stump grinding.
Well, those are some pretty big stumps. I mean,
Would you do it anyway?
I would think that you would want
We
to.
don't have to wait to
Grass
plant.
on it, yeah.
We
Oh,
don't have
no.
to wait to replant.
Right,
'cause we're
absolutely.
planting further.
Yeah, if you're planting away from there, correct. But yeah, I think it's probably,
Different type of landscaping plan could go in, we could look at some trees or whatever, or something to go in there to beautify and
Yes.
make it come
And I
back.
think that's a great idea to start, even around, if we leave tree B and C, or.
I mean,
whenever
when
we
I see,
leave-
when I see something that says high to moderate risk by one of the arborists, that to me says, sorry, it's gotta go. I don't want that, I don't want that on my conscience.
And they say even if you trim it, it's still a high risk. That's my concern. I mean, they both
I don't want that
identified
on
it
my
as a
conscience.
risk.
Right.
You
So
know?
if we start to plan ahead and start to replace trees, and then we can take out what we need when we feel like it's time.
But this is a safety issue that needs to be addressed now. The landscaping plan, we can certainly work on that, and
Yes.
that's just my opinion. I don't know how you all feel about it, but I mean, I can hear and I sympathize too with wanting some of them to stay, but honestly, to reading this, I think they all need to go.
Well, Bernie, especially with both of them saying dead limbs, you know, on B and C, both arborists 1 and 2 say dead limbs, so that's just the beginning of what's coming.
That's true. It's not much longer.
Yeah, I mean, all right, you got dead limbs now, how many more are gonna appear
Right, which we pay.
in the spring?
Right, so if we're looking at, you know, right now, we've been talking about 4,000 a tree, say if it's 5,000 a tree, I mean, it's still over a life or a house or whatever. I think they need to go.
And Chief just made an excellent point, which is, it's not just the homes, it's the playground.
Yeah, I mean, if one of those limbs fell off and hit a kid on the playground, it would be catastrophic.
We had one tree come down, it was from the,
Originally on the
Yeah,
green
that
trolley,
tree.
yeah.
and it had to be replaced, yeah.
Yeah. So,
I mean, it sounds like we're all sort of generally agreeing that it's not just A, D, and E. We really probably just need to take them all down and start over.
And I think it would look nicer if we started over, if we started putting back
feel
something.
more uniform, it would
Yes.
feel like we planned and, yeah.
Yeah. One suggestion I would have is possibly, you know, because you got those sort of wide ranges there where there aren't any trees anymore. There probably were at one time. I don't know if you remember. I don't remember back that far, but, you know, it'd be nice to perhaps put in more trees and make that more sort of a tree-lined thing all the way down, you know?
Yeah, there's a definite landscaping issue over there with some vines. My husband's been clearing them for years now, just going over, to clear them out so that the regular trees do live there. But yeah, we would love to see more trees on there too.
And if we're eliminating, I know we don't have to do it as part of this, but if we eliminate one of the proposed planting beds on Henry Clay and Kyle's, we eliminate that bed, that's 3 trees they were gonna put in there, we could put that toward,
Yeah, but yeah, but that's now and later.
I understand,
Yeah.
yeah, I understand, I'm just saying, we've got some money that would, a credit kind of, that we could use toward those trees.
I would still like to do the stuff along the streets,
I would too.
yeah, and then
On Henry
this will be
Clay
on
and all
top of that.
I'd like to do all that, like we,
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, and again, not like we're just, you know, making it rain with money up here, but we have money in the bank that could cover this easily, would be my take. I think we should do both.
I agree.
you do want to do the Henry Clay trees?
I would. I mean.
If that was in that plan, barring whatever you guys, changes you want to make to it, yeah, I would say proceed.
I thought that was a piece of property you were considering getting rid of as a city-owned property.
I don't think anyone's going to want it, Margie.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, now, they might want it if we do this improvement to it, and maybe we still give it to them, but I mean, it's such a weird, unusual
And Jeff, I
Kinda-
think
yeah.
we just do the trees in there,
Three
just
red
3 red
buds?
buds in there.
Okay.
So we will need to make a budget amendment. That's not a problem, but I just want everybody to realize that it will be coming in the
So I mean, at this point, do we have an actual proposal to remove these trees?
We do.
I just talked to him on the phone.
Yeah, but we don't have anything in writing.
No, I don't have anything in writing.
Do we need to bid that out?
Yeah.
I think it's under the bid limit, but I think we definitely need a proposal in writing.
I can get Tony,
Yeah.
How many would you get? How many proposals? Because I noticed when I got mine, wow, it changed a lot
Yeah, I mean, I can
between
get,
4 different people.
the guy that I've used for years is the guy that I've talked to.
We
I can
typically get
reach
3.
out to another company.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I figured I would. And I told him I would. But
So,
yeah,
because,
he's kind of always been Johnny on the spot for me when I need him right away.
Yeah, sometimes it's a timing issue, because I know Ms. Cooper has called me a couple times, just concerned, it rained last night, what's the status of the trees?
so here's what I propose. Jeff, can you try to get 3 different bids, have them for us before the caucus meeting? We could do a special meeting. Because again, I don't know that this is an emergency. I don't know we need an emergency meeting for it, but I don't think we should dilly-dally now that we have this information.
Yeah, I told him I
And-
want
yeah.
him as soon as
Dave,
possible.
what if we do it the following, there was a number of 4,000 thrown out. If the quote comes into of 4,000 or less each tree, give you the authority to sign it.
You say 5,000, Bernie? I mean, I'm fine with that if you guys are fine with it. Again, you control the money. If you want to set a maximum limit per tree and give me the authority to proceed, assuming they come in under that, I'm fine with it.
Instead of messing around doing all this, that, if we just did that, then it would be easier between you and Jeff to figure
I'll
out.
make a motion that we authorize the mayor to sign a contract for not to exceed $5,000 per tree for the removal of these 5 trees.
So a total of 25,000,
Correct.
5,000 per
Not
tree.
to exceed.
All right, so we have a motion by Wessels. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, second, Weber. Any additional discussion?
Yeah, that $5,000 includes stump grinding, right?
That's
I
correct.
believe that's what Jeff said.
And I think we should grind them.
Me too.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Further discussion? I'm not seeing anything.
The only other further discussion is we work on a landscaping plan moving forward. That's it. Thanks.
Renee, how you feel about that?
You're saying take them all out?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now that I look at this report, I'm definitely convinced.
I mean, it's not ideal for your neighbor, your neighbors, but
I don't
it's,
love it, but it's what.
It kind of sucks, really, but, I mean, between the safety of people in the park, the folks that live there like you, your cars on the street, I just think sadly, this is the right decision.
Yeah, my son's new car was parked outside our house that night that happened. It was amazing it didn't get hit.
Yeah, well, I'm glad it didn't.
I'm happy to provide you a copy of both the reports. If you'd like to see them in full, you're welcome to have those.
No, I mean, this really summarizes everything I need to know, and I'll definitely share this with my neighbors that weren't able to make it tonight as well.
And
We're all pretty close, so.
I feel like the utility line causes a dilemma there, and now if we have a clean slate, we can be smart about what we're planting where, so that we never have to worry about utility company pruning them so badly that we have this issue again.
And we have an eastern red bud forest in our backyard. We have new ones popping up every day, so if you
Yeah.
want some extra
Well, there you go, wait a minute.
Some seedlings.
they're saving us money already.
Yeah, nice.
My husband built a patio 20 years ago around this tiny little red bud that is now the biggest that some people have seen, so.
Yeah, but they grow so fast.
Was that-
So they grow so fast.
Yes, they do. They grow fast and they're beautiful and they're native, so I like that part of it too. I don't think the pin oak is native. I'm not sure.
Yep, oh yeah, I thought they were Western Kentucky.
Okay.
All right,
They're also like almost 100 years old, I think.
So we need to vote, I guess.
yeah, we have a motion and a second. Anything else? All right, roll call, please, Carrie, excuse me.
Mr. Wessels?
Yes?
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Ms. Witt?
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Ms. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Wall?
Yes.
All right, motion carries. We will get some written proposals, review them, and assuming they don't come in at more than $25,000, pick the one we think is the best suited and proceed. If that is not the case for whatever reason, we'll bring it back to you, and then again, potentially schedule a special meeting before the caucus meeting just for this issue, so we can keep this moving forward before something terrible does happen. Okay, that gets us to the annual ethics report. So just a quick heads up for folks watching from home. We, as part of our recertification for City of Ethics through the Kentucky League of Cities, rewrote our ethics ordinance to bring it more into alignment with what KLC was recommending, despite the fact that we'd already done that once when we first pursued the Kentucky League of Cities City of Ethics. And one of the things that the new ethics ordinance requires is a report from the Board of Ethics. And with us tonight is our former city attorney and Board of Ethics member, Tim Tyson, to give us a quick update on how we did. Tim?
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Donna Ross, congratulations. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
I was city attorney for 4 years, so
I know
got to sit up there for years. And Jonathan, it's good.
And have lived here forever and was on city council and done just about everything that a person could do, except,
She embarrassed me, though. More quantity or percentage of her life has been spent in Fort Wright than me. I think our number of years are about the same. I just have. So you have a Board of Ethics. You guys passed an ordinance a year and a half or so ago. The members of that are me and former Mayor Joe Neighbor Jr. and Adam Feinhauer, who many of you may know because he was on council, of course, before. Katie Baker is our alternate member. We haven't had any attendance issues, so we've had all of our scheduled meetings have gone fine. I actually missed the first meeting, which is why I ended up chair. They literally
you were voluntold, yes.
That's what happens. You haven't missed one since.
Otherwise, I'd have been having dinner already. Anyway, so first off, I'll make a point. Ordinance is doing fine. We've got a committee. Everybody is attending, so no issues there. Another good news, we didn't have any ethics complaints at all this year. That's our goal. That's a great thing. I think the city is in good shape in that regard. The board has actually, since you all passed the ordinance, the board has been formed, the officers have been elected, we've had our meetings, and we've got the report drafted here. You all have that. If anybody doesn't, let me know. But you have the report. One of the things that we're supposed to do is read the ordinance and closely and tell you whether there's any recommended changes. The board doesn't have any recommended changes this year. Brooke did a great job drafting it. No mistakes, no, everything is fine. And, if things come up over, as we have cases or something, there may be things like, oh, maybe we ought to think about this or that. That hasn't happened yet. Okay, so we're all good. We're required to do an annual training for not only you, but staff as well. That is scheduled for January 21, which is a Wednesday, would be the night of your caucus meeting in January. I think we're going to do that in here. Is that right, Joe?
Correct.
Yeah. So that will be coming. It's an annual training, the purpose of which is just to make sure that you all and the department heads and what have you kind of know what the rules are, make sure that you know what they are so you don't mess them up, right? Avoid complaints that way, that kind of thing. This year, we're going to bring in somebody from KLC to do that training. This is new enough to me that I thought rather than me trying to do it, we're going to get somebody outside. In future years, we may end up having the people of the board actually do the training. We'll see what happens with that. But this year, we're going to spend a small amount of money to have somebody from KLC come up and do that training. The financial disclosures, you guys might all remember filling those out. Those come to this board as well. We kind of review those, approve them. We did that. There were no issues this year at all. All of them were approved. There was no conflicts of interest identified from any of those. So that all turned out to be fine. I guess we have another meeting scheduled in January, right about the time that the training is, but that'll just be our first functional meeting for the new year. So that's kind of about all. It's been kind of a light year in terms of events, which is obviously a good thing. We have kind of done a good job of getting the board, constituted and operating and ready to go in the event there was ever a significant issue or a complaint filed or something like that. So. Questions? Anybody?
Do you have somebody at KLC that if you had a question, you can ask them and they'll get back to you? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. KLC's great about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody from KLC probably asked Tim.
And by the way, one thing I I didn't mention, we did hire counsel, so Brooke and I talked about this, and there's always that potentiality that if a complaint was filed against one of you all, that Brooke couldn't be the attorney for our board too, okay? So Greg Voss, who some of you may know, he's a city attorney of several cities around northern Kentucky. I've known him for literally decades. He's a really, really bright guy. Was willing to serve at a very reasonable rate and stuff. So he's the attorney for the board.
Says the attorney.
Yeah, he's cheaper than what I would have done, so.
Well, there you go.
But he's a great guy, has a lot of experience in municipal law and what have you, so he's actually written an ethics ordinance for one of his cities, so he knows it more intimately even than he normally would or whatever. So he's our board attorney and would come. And frankly, in our normal meetings, if we have, it's not as critical to have him there. If we ever had a complaint where we actually have to do like a mini trial and hear evidence, it would be important to have somebody that's the counsel for that board. So he's available to do that.
Hopefully, Tim, that will never happen. But I get that it could happen, and, you know, so I think it's a good move.
Yeah. And frankly, for our city, I mean, I've been a citizen here for years. It's great for our city to have this board. It's important, I think, to send a message. Just the fact that we exist and that ethics is important to us. It's also a great way that if there was a problem, if somebody came in and was concerned about something that was going on here, we can issue advisory opinions. So if somebody comes in and says, hey, wait a minute, councilperson so-and-so did this, or is he allowed to do that? We can actually hear that before some complaint or lawsuit happens. And then if there is a complaint, we can also address it more at a Board of Ethics kind of level, rather than having to do it in circuit court in front of somebody in a black robe, and it's a mess, and it's way more expensive and all that kind of stuff. So I do think it's really important to have a board like this. The more I've read about it since I got picked to do this, it is actually a good thing for us to have. I'm kind of glad to see our city has this.
If we come across something that we might want to suggest in there, because at one point, maybe like a couple months ago, we had something that.
Yeah, I remember talking about this, but I don't remember what it was
I
offhand.
shared that with the board at the last meeting, and we decided we were going to look at it and get back to you with a recommendation.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the issue was. So we can still suggest.
Was it the social
change.
media thing?
Yeah,
I don't
one
know.
thing that's
The social
different.
media was one of it, the use of property was the other one.
Okay.
One of the things that's different about our board than like, if you know anything about like the law with courts, a court, you're not allowed to file a case in court and say, hey, judge, can you tell us whether this is legal or not? You have to actually wait until you do something and then get sued, and then you find out whether it's legal or not. This board actually has the power to make it what they call advisory opinions. So a council person or the council as a group could send a question and say, you know, we do this with this organization. Is this proper legal for us to do? And then you can kind of get an approval before you make a mistake, which is great. Yeah. So.
And one of my understanding is that KLC is working on a revision to the model policy dealing with the social media issue. So we're kind of waiting to see how that pans out.
Yeah.
So, other questions for Tim? All right, well, if there's no other questions for Tim, Tim, again, thank you specifically for willing to step up to the plate. Obviously, you have a lot of, track record with the city, and I appreciate your positive feedback on the whole process. Appreciate your willingness to serve, and the rest of the board as well. We will post this many-page report on the website for anyone that might want to read it, anyone that's got insomnia. This will be almost as good as the audit to help you overcome your lack of sleep. So,
Well, and Mayor, just so you know, and I know you're teasing, but part of the reason why we put the report together the way it is so that we now have one document that contains the rules and the guidelines, so it'll kind of be there forever. And what we'll probably do is every annual report will contain like a copy of the ordinance and some of the standards and things like that. And if there's any changes that we make in the future, that'll be reflected in it. So that was sort of done, obviously a little thicker. We could have made the report one page.
No, I think
but
it's good.
This sort of
everything's kind of in a one-stop shopping, if you will. If you have questions about how it works or concerns about, what, the process looks like and such. So, no, I actually think it's good. It is kind of meaty.
Yeah, for sure. So,
All right.
It's been fun being back.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Last chance.
Thank.
Chair's right here.
Well, our way forward sometime. I can step in if you're on vacation or something like that. So, okay.
In all seriousness, thank you for your continued service to the city, Tim. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Tim.
Good to see you.
Great to see you, Tim. Thanks.
Have a nice evening and happy Thanksgiving if I don't see you beforehand. You can come up and get some turkey logs on the employee luncheon if you like. Yes, feel free to leave if you like there, Mrs. Cooper, too. I'm sure you're enthralled with this fantastic meeting.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, one last item of new business, or two, right? We've got the municipal order for Tom. Municipal Order 08-2025, reappointing Todd Burley to the Kenton County Planning Commission. Do we have a motion to approve? Yes. we should read it.
Municipal Order 08-2025, a municipal order of the City Council of the City of Fort Wright in Kenton County, Kentucky, reappointing Todd Burling as the City of Fort Wright's representative to the Kenton County Planning Commission for another 4-year term, 1/1/2026 through 12/31/2029.
All right, now that Brooke has read it and we're following the rules appropriately, do we have a motion to approve? A motion by Collins, second.
I'll second.
Weber, any additional discussion?
Thank you.
All right, roll call, please.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mr. Wessels?
Yes.
Ms. Witt?
Yes.
Ms. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Wall?
Yes.
All right, motion carries. As always, thank you, Todd. We appreciate your ongoing service. This is one of those thankless jobs that people do, and I think Todd has done an excellent job. We appreciate you, Todd. Thank you for being willing to continue to serve. So then we have Municipal Order 09-2025, which we amended the agenda earlier to reappoint Tom Litzler to the Telecommunications Board of Northern Kentucky. Brooke, you want to read that?
Yes, sir. Municipal Order 09-2025, a municipal order of the City Council of the City of Fort Wright in Kenton County, Kentucky, reappointing Tom Litzler as the city's representative to the Telecommunications Board of Northern Kentucky.
Just by way of update for like you, Donna, since you may not be familiar with the Telecommunications Board, they're the fine folks here this evening to televise this meeting, amongst other things. In addition to many, many decades of service to the city by Mr. Litzler, including being the mayor at one time and freeing us from the oppression of the yoke of Covington, but I won't get too deep into that. Tom has done an enormous amount for the city. It's great that he continues to be willing to serve in this capacity. He's been on this board. I was the chair of this board in like 2001. Tom was already like decades in then. So that gives you some idea of how long he's served on this board. And one of the things Tom really brings to the table here, besides a lot of institutional knowledge, probably more than anyone else down there at this point, is, every so often when they have to renegotiate these franchises with the cable companies, that becomes a big thing. And for those of you who are sort of long in the tooth at this like me, you may recall Tom has been here many times trying to explain these franchise agreements and so forth. And, that's important because it helps control your rates as well as the money that we get back through the franchise agreement to the city. So while this probably sounds kind of trivial, it's a fairly important role. And Tom has done a great job, and frankly, I'm just thankful he's willing to do yet another 2-year term. I mean, he's going to have quite an impressive record there. Probably will be unmatched at any future point. So with all of my ramblings, do we have a motion to approve Municipal Order 09? Thank you, Scott. So Wall and Wessels, any additional discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Mr. Wall?
Yes.
Mr. Wessels?
Yes.
Ms. Witt?
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Ms. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
All right, motion carries. We will let Tom and Todd know they've been reappointed. And Tom, if you're watching tonight, again, thank you for all you have done and continue to do for the city. We appreciate you. That gets us out of new business to committee. You got anything, Margie?
No.
Finance, we didn't meet today, nothing to report. Jill, you got anything for us from the city administrator?
Yes, I just want to let you know that tax bills will go in the mail on Thursday. So we're prepared. Staff's done a great job of getting those bills ready. They've actually been ready for a couple weeks, so we were just waiting for the timing to pass. So they've done a great job. I appreciate all of your ladies' help with that project. Want to let you know that we did receive a grant from OKI to pave Highland Avenue, and the grant amount was $227,246. It's a federal surface transportation block grant. It does require a 20% local match, so essentially $45,000, $46,000 from us. And I'd like to notify them that we're going to be accepting and moving forward with that. So if you're interested in doing that, I'd like a motion for the expense of the funds.
So do we have a motion to move forward with that OKI grant? Wessels, second? Second, Ross. Any additional discussion? All right, roll call, please, Carrie.
Mr. Wessels?
Yes.
Ms. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Wall?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Ms. Witt? Yes. Mr. Collins?
Yes.
All right, motion carries. And anything else, Jill?
Yes, you had asked at the last caucus meeting for some additional information about the fraud audit process. I'm still working on that, and I'll get that to you at the December meeting or the next caucus meeting to resolve that issue.
And while we're on that subject, the word fraud has a super negative connotation. When we talk to Dean Jordan, because we're obviously not looking for fraud, we don't believe there's fraud, let me put it to you that way, right? We don't believe there's fraud. You know, this is, in my mind, more of a due diligence exercise that goes beyond, above and beyond what the normal audit process that we do every year is. And again, we're trying to get into a potentially regular cadence every 3-5 years, do one of these, just to, again, some extra due diligence, a little due care, make sure that everything is above board. As to, would it be more appropriate to call this like a forensic audit or something? Because fraud has a very negative
I will
connotation.
ask them about
Yeah.
that. I think the forensic term is a different depth of an audit. So I think, I will talk to
Yeah, I
the
just-
accounting world and find out what they're doing.
What about-
It's just
Yeah.
channel surfing, it sounds like, wait, is there a problem?
What about just forensics audit?
Forensic holds a different connotation in there, I believe.
Their verbiage, internal control evaluation.
I think that's probably a good one.
I'm good with that.
There's definitely in the world of accounting a terminology issue there, so I'll firm up what that
And
is.
some of these things probably have specific legal meanings. I don't expect you to know them off the top of your head, but, you know, sometimes these things have, you know, a specific legal meaning with certain terminology. But yeah, I think, let's see what they say, but I would suggest we use Jason's approach and go with their own internal language and stop using the word fraud.
Sure.
Unless and until someone tells us there is fraud.
Right, and we have, again, just to reiterate that, Mayor, we have no indication that there's a problem with fraud. We are just reviewing our own internal processes to make sure that we are doing everything the best we can to avoid a potential fraudulent
I've heard it
situation.
15 times just from you two sitting here.
Right. Right. So,
I'm going to stop saying it.
an improvement of our processes. So I'll have more information coming about that topic. We also talked about the land swap with the city of Covington. I did talk to them, and they were in agreement to move forward with a proposal for a 15-year clause on that property. So now it's just a paperwork game, and we're working to try and get paperwork drafted for you to review, so that's coming at a future meeting also. And then I wanted to follow back up with you about the Eagle Scout project. We talked about that at the caucus meeting last time, and there was some interest in that project. You had asked for some bridges and some plans for the bridges. Before we got to that point, I had gotten an email from the insurance company indicating that they had some concerns about bridges and footbridges being added. So I just want to circle back, see what you want to do with this topic, if you want to push it back to caucus and have some additional discussion, or if you want to move forward with it, and then we need a motion to do it. And,
My recommendation is we push it back to the caucus meeting and dig deeper into what the insurance company said about risk and so forth before we proceed with this. Especially since we just talked about risk with these trees. I think you all need to take a hard look at what they had to say before we make any final decision on this.
To the opposite, and I agree totally with what you're saying, is that we don't want to stymie anything that somebody like the Scouts trying to do, if we can help, if we can work through it.
Yeah, I don't, if I can help it, but I also don't want to create additional risk, for the city that ends up costing us a lot of money.
I
So-
don't disagree, Gus.
So, all right, Jill, we'll push that back to the caucus meeting, get you all the full-blown information, and we can have a more in-depth discussion around what does this really mean, and, how much risk do we potentially want to absorb on something like this?
So Mayor, that is all I have unless someone has questions for me about ongoing activities and projects. I do need to have a discussion with you in executive session tonight.
Yes. All right, if there's no other questions for Jill, administration, what do you got for us?
I just want to add to Jill's comment about the taxes. Just a reminder that everyone will get a bill this year again. So if you do escrow, please contact your mortgage company to make sure that the payment has been made before you make the payment, so there's not double payments. It is a process for NIOCA to refund the payments.
I mean, if you're feeling really generous and you want to pay twice, we'll take your money. But if you're not, we understand.
Is that gonna be put out on the socials or?
Yes, we'll send out the email and hit the numerous times with the social media, the sign, all that, so that people are aware of the deadline. I always like to try to explain to people, our goal here is for you to, A, be able to pay on time, and B, hopefully pay on time, because we don't want to penalize you, we don't want to fine you. We want to make this as easy as possible for you to get your taxes paid on time and not cause a lot of undue stress and/or a lot of unnecessary expense because you missed the deadline. So yes, we will promote the crap out of it once they go out between now and the deadline.
Well, it created undue stress last year for me when I got a tax bill, and I thought I've been paying this. And I had no idea where to get the tax bill. That's kind of where I was going.
So let me make sure I understand your point. I think I get it. It's not just the notification, but the explanation that even if you have an escrow account and you made a detection, you're going to get a bill.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'll make sure that it's added to the notification process. That's created some calls on our end also, but I do think it's important that everybody gets a bill. That should have been happening previously, so.
And yes, it is on the website that says the escrow card. Tomorrow, I will add the link to pay the bill.
And on the bill itself, it says forward to your mortgage company, correct?
does,
Yes.
Yeah, Scott, we can add some specific language in there to try to clarify that so that it doesn't make people freak out because they think that somehow they haven't been paying or whatever else. I get it. I could see where that would be concerning.
I've already notified my scheduler that the bill is coming.
You're really cool, you got a scheduler.
And the mortgage companies are really good about reaching out to us and just getting the information and paying the bills. But sometimes you have those small little mortgage companies that might only have one or two. They don't get those bills. So that's why we tell residents to forward them to their mortgage companies, but in a lot of cases, the mortgage companies will collect that data and just submit payment.
Anything else, Carrie?
That's it.
Any other questions for Carrie? Naoka, you got anything?
Yeah, it's been a busy month for me. Talking about property tax bills, I got those prepared, import it, print it, ready to go. And I think it is a good thing that all the residents get a copy of their bill. One, just information on what they're paying. I think it's good to see that. But two, mortgage companies switch all the time, so we might not have the most up-to-date information when we do get the tax roll from the county. So this is a good opportunity to make sure everyone receives the information needed to get to their mortgage company. Another thing is I had the KEMI workers' comp audit this month. That went really well, and the big audit as well. And I also renewed my passport manager certification this month.
And you've been working on delinquent tax collection with Brooke.
Yeah, yes. It's been a busy, busy month. Those are just my highlights, though.
Questions for Naoka?
So I just have a quick question on, we seem to have issue occasionally with people in Fort Wright. This property is kind of considered listed Covington. Are those, we talked about properties that we just want to make sure they're not paying Covington taxes and not City of Fort Wright. Is there a way to kind of take a look at those and see?
We have gone through all of the rolls and we've analyzed them from a couple different aspects. and we do it every year, but when Carrie and Ioka came on, we really drove through all those bills for waste purposes also, where those properties were located, whether they were getting assessed the correct waste charge. So we feel pretty confident with the role.
Do you see many of those?
We don't see many returns, but we do log every return, why, the reason of the return, and we do make sure that everyone knows that they can go online and get a copy of their tax bill if they need to, or they can come in. But for the most part, considering how many properties there are, only a handful will come back as undeliverable. So I think it's pretty good.
Okay. Now, with the government shutdown, I think the mail service is suffering a little bit, so.
I talked to the mailman, she said that they're being paid, so I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know, and I don't know the depth of what's happened in their agency. I just know I have someone who's calling me from Ohio and saying the mail service has been very slow because they're particularly worried about liquor licensing, which we're working on currently also, so.
I will say from the passport agency too, they always tell us to tell people, give 2 additional weeks for postal service time on top of their processing times, because we do not know how slow the mail's gonna be.
Get that Christmas card.
I could really go on the post office for an extra 1 hour.
You can still pay online, you do not
Yeah.
have to get a bill,
Yeah.
so.
You can pay online or stop in, we are happy to take that money.
Any other questions for Ioka? All right, Chief Shuey is not here this evening. Joe, I see you have nothing to relay on his behalf.
No, he's on vacation, which I'm very happy for him. Yeah, I know, it's a little surprise.
Go on vacation.
He is on vacation, so yeah. He's having a great time.
All right, Chief Caldwell, what do you got?
Just a couple things from the month of October. I know we had a council meeting on the day of the open house, but it wasn't completed yet, so just after the council meeting on the 1st was when we did the bike giveaway. We ended up giving away 20 bikes to kids in the city, so that worked out really well. And then the police department was involved in 2 or 3 trunk or treats at the elementary school, the detention center, and then I think a local business as well. And then Halloween went off very well. We were blessed to not have any tragic accidents this year, so all the officers were able to stay in the neighborhoods. That's all I got.
Appreciate you guys at the fire department out there.
Based on the open house and the 20 bikes, we should probably send a thank you letter, or we should make a resolution, include that thank you letter to the individual
I think we provided
organization
them a thank you letter already.
that donated this.
Yeah, we've contacted them already, and thank them for that. We do have some pictures I would like to post on social media, that have been,
I mean, if you guys want to do a formal resolution or something, we can certainly do that.
Whatever you think is appropriate. It's just,
No, the thank you letter's enough. He's a friend of mine, and he does this for a lot of different places, and he's more than willing to do it again in the future for us for any other events as well.
but we will make sure that he knows that we're totally thankful for what he did.
All right, any questions for Chief Caldwell?
No, the men in the neighborhood was very well received by my neighbors.
Good, thank you. I'll pass it on to him.
All right, Jeff, Public Works.
Yes, sir. I only got a couple things. The crack seal, this fall's crack seal program is wrapped up. Actually got the bill just before the meeting tonight, so I've checked all that stuff. Everything looks good. The reevaluation of the road program is still underway. We went with the company that uses the cameras and the AI and all that good stuff. I had a meeting with them. Several cities met with them over at Edgewood City Building last week. They are planning on having our data, I think he said by December 7th. So then once we get that data, then we can start working on street ratings and coming up with a 5-year plan from there. So it's still in process. They had a couple snags along the way. They were hoping to have it earlier, but it's coming. So we're still in process on that.
You have an opportunity, whatever the opportunity, you and the engineering department go out and agree or disagree with what?
We can, yeah. I mean, it's actually pretty cool. You know, I've already got a login with the city map. We just don't have any data in there yet. It just shows the streets. So we'll be able to see, you know, they'll color code different defects in the streets, and they can do all kinds of, I mean, it's a really neat program. It just takes a little longer than driving around with the eyeball, you know, looking at it.
And it's more, it's not, you know, he believes this and I believe that type of thing. It's all,
Right.
you know,
Right.
data driven.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. Yeah. That's all I got.
Any questions for Jeff?
It's getting cold next week, Jeff.
We will, well, I can't say that because Margie will throw something at me, but we're getting ready for things. We'll be as ready as we can be.
All right, if there are no questions for Jeff, Brooke, you got anything? Yes, sir. All right, we do have a few comments here in the special announcement section. We got a nice message from Gail and Dick Machalik, assuming I'm pronouncing that right, from Beaumont. Thank you for putting up the fall decorations on the Kyle's and Walgreens. Makes Fort Wright a good place to live. A few others in here in the back of your packet. We got a thank you from Daniel Lang regarding the rental of the community center and extra effort Carrie took to make sure it went smoothly. I won't read this whole thing to you, but it's in your packet, so thank you, Carrie. Nice job. Kudos on that. Appreciate you taking care of this particular situation. And again, this is always one of my favorite things. It's nice that people will actually, you know, take the time to send something in and express their gratitude. We've got a thank you here for the open house. This is a handwritten letter. It's sideways in my packet, so it may be a little bit hard to read, but it's from David and Kathy Bray, 1806 Mount Vernon, and basically just saying, you know, thanks for putting on the open house. They appreciate that. Again, you can read the full details in there if you want. And let's see, thank you letter from Joseph Abner, who was one of the city council candidates, just basically saying appreciate the opportunity. And congratulations to Donna on her appointment. Let's see what else we got. It looks like that's it. I do before, I was going to say before we close out, reminder that the annual Northern Kentucky Veterans Day observance is Sunday at Highland Cemetery at 2 p.m. It's always a nice event. You should try to get over there if you can. We'll promote it a couple more times between now and then on our social media and such. But again, Highland Cemetery, 2 o'clock Sunday, and then, let's read that for me, if you would, Jill.
Yes.
I'm trying to dig it out of here.
We participated in a leash and collar donation drive for the animal shelter. Resident Whitney O'Neill, who is also a shelter volunteer, and I think that's some of the rescue programs with them, had asked us to participate in that program, so we had gotten a lot of donations. Just wanted to thank everyone who contributed for making a donation to that project, and those went to the animal shelter today.
And the code thing?
The code drive is currently going on for St. Vincent de Paul. That will go on, I think, through mid-December. Do you remember the date, ladies?
What's it, 31st?
The 31st of December.
Yeah, so anyone that's still watching, if you have new or lightly used coats you don't need anymore, you can bring clean stuff up here, throw it in the box out front, and we will make sure that it gets distributed to folks that need it. Okay, I think that gets us through the agenda. As Jill mentioned, we do need a quick executive session under 61-810B, deliberations on the future acquisition and sale of real property by a public agency. So do we have a motion to go into executive session under 61-810B?
I'll make the motion.
Wessel, second? Second, Collins. Any additional discussion? A roll call, please, Gary?
Mr. Wessels?
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Ms. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Wall?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Ms. Witt?
Yes.
All right, we will go into executive session. And I don't think this will take